What's going on, everybody? So today we're coming at you with a update. It's been a pretty good bit since I've done a video last. We've done a little bit of upgrades or changes to this tank. We took the final filter out, and now we're just running off these sponge filters. It might look a little cloudy in there, but this female right here is definitely pregnant. She is getting swole, let's just say. We did add a new guppy, really pretty whitetail. It is, I'm pretty sure it's called a German white guppy. I'm not 100% sure on that. But so at the end of today's video, we're going to be doing the top 5 fish you can keep with goldfish, and so we'll hit that at the end of the video. And so if you want to skip there, you can, but I would prefer you to stay, of course. But alright, let's get to the other tanks. Okay, so now we're down at the baby tank, and we got all the little babies running around. Actually, I already fed them, so now they're just down there running around getting the little algae wafers. Of course, we got the one riding him. Oh, that's the female right there, so he's always riding her. And so we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We got our babies up there, our 2 patches right there. And hopefully I'll be able to move these out soon. We got our beautiful males up in here. And we got some pretty good males down here. They look nice. So let's take you over to the big tank. Okay, so in this tank we did have to change a little bit. Don't mind the kind of blurry patches. That's for cycling the tank. I'm just throwing food in and see if it works. But in my other tank, here comes the Daniel swimming by. In my other tank, I had the Cryptocorn Winty, I think, Winty Red, and you can see them kind of stranded off right there. The roots are not all the way planted, but my plecos started just annihilating them and eating them like crazy. So I had to rip them out of that tank and put them in this tank, and I just haven't planted it yet because every time I go in here to mess something up. Here, I'll just show you. Just you watch this. Let's try to plant some of this right here. See all that dust? It's like I can't get away from it. That's all it ever wants to do is just dust up. Okay, we actually need to plant this bulb somewhere, so let's plant it right there. Okay, let's see how that does. Okay, but yeah, you can see every time I go in there and try to mess up with something, it just likes to dust up, so that's why I don't mess with it much. So okay, let's take you back to the main tank, and we'll hit the subject for today. Okay, so the top 5 fish you can keep with goldfish. So we're gonna start at number 5. Is you can probably keep. Now I have never tried this one, but I feel sure because they're fast enough they can run away from goldfish or anything. But Danios, they can really almost go with any fish because they're fast enough to get away from that fish if they start messing with them. And they're sporadic eaters, so I know they'll get something to eat. Look, she's trying to get her something to do. But Danios is number 5. Number 4 is going to be a reticulated hillstream loach. It is a little more on the expensive side, coming in about around $20 or $18. It depends. That's where my local store comes in. It comes in around $18, $20 at my local store. It really looks like a little freshwater, like stingray. It looks really cool. You just have to look it up. It's called a reticulated hillstream loach, and so they're really good. They'll stay at the bottom, clean up the goldfish's waste, because goldfish are one of the most nastiest fish in the hobby. So that was number 4, or yeah, no, 3. Reticulated hailstorm, or no, reticulated hailstorm loach was number 4. Okay, so number 3 is a dojo loach. I'm not sure about coolie loaches, if they're the same way, but dojo loaches that I've heard, it's like a little snake that runs down at the bottom. It's the same, it will do this almost the same job as the reticulated hailstorm loach, and it's just a really cool looking like snake fish. It literally looks like a snake going through the water, but it's really a fish, and it don't need any oxygen or anything. So it's a really cool looking fish here. It's called a dojo loach. You can look it up. It's really a cool looking fish. And at number 3, or at number 2, we have a pleco. You can do the, hold on, let me run over here. Oh, here, he's poking out now. You can do the bristlenose pleco, common pleco, really any armored catfish is really good. And my number 1 is one of my favorites. It's a Cory catfish. There's many species of Cory catfish. There's stir-by Corys, there's panda Corys, there's pygmy Corys, there's just so many different species of Corys. And they have different skin colors and all that, and there's bronze Corys, and they're just a really cool overall fish to keep in the bottom of your tank. They're really sporadic at the bottom. They'll do the same thing as like a pleco would, but instead of hiding like that, they'll just be all the way up through the tank, just going all the way through the bottom, just sifting, looking for stuff in the bottom of your gravels and stuff. But with the only thing with Corys is that I've heard that gravel, like this kind of gravel, is kind of hurtful on their feelers, on their face, because they'll have little feelers. They say it can cut their feelers, but I've never really had a problem. I used to keep Corys, and I never really had a problem with them cutting their feelers on these gravel. But if you really want to just take the precaution and keep Corys with your goldfish and make sure the Corys are good too, then I would do like maybe a finer gravel, or like maybe even a sand if you would like that. But mainly to feed all the fish besides the Danios, you basically want to do some algae wafers. Let me show you what those are. So I use the algae wafer. This right here, comes here. Let me pour some out. Ooh, it's a sinking pellet, or like a sinking tablet. I like to break them up and throw them everywhere I like to throw. And you can use them for snails, really anything at the bottom they're good for. And so that's those. But really, if you feed a lot, it should make it down to the bottom and feed the Corys or your catfish at the bottom, or whatever you have. So alrighty, that's today's video, and I'll see you on the next one. Peace out, everybody.